everything is pointing to something beyond, something more than what we are seeing. Death itself is an ayah, it's an indication that conveys meaning. So death also has a malakut side to it. There is an angel of death. There is beauty in it. There is wisdom in it. There is power in it. The world, matter, form dies, but reality does not. Meaning does not. So the more we identify with matter and form and physicality, the less we become aware of reality and the less we identify with the ruh, with the spirit, and vice versa. It doesn't mean one doesn't exist. Whether I'm aware of it or not makes no difference. If I identify with matter, with the body, for instance, the body keeps changing and the body is a tiny part of who I am. So I'm missing on the largest part of who I am. But when I start identifying with the ruh and I become more and more conscious, because the ruh is the conscious part of us, then it doesn't mean that I have no body, but the body now becomes more meaningful. I am more in touch with the malakut side of the body. The body also has those two aspects, and now it becomes a conscious, the malakut side is the conscious part, the meaning side, the reality side or aspect of it. So it's still there, but how I perceive it changes. Why is this important? Because yes, the world dies, but reality does not. Meaning does not. The body dies, ruh does not. The world dies, the mulk dies, the malakut does not. And this is something that we observe and we witness when we start living from the ruh, which means it starts actually, the ruh starts being activated without us being really aware of it. When we focus more and more on the malakut, then our consciousness and awareness is upgraded. Then we become self-aware, and then the process, it speeds up, it gains momentum. So now there is balance. When there is balance between the mulk and the malakut, the mulk is a tiny part of, it's like a word text that's talking about things that are, for instance, describing a house or leading you into the house. The house and the words are not the same thing. They are related, but they are not the same thing. So the mulk is talking about, it's showing and opening the door, opening the window onto the world of the unseen, the world of the beautiful names that we have access to here and now. So they are incomparable. They are both. The malakut is necessary, but if we get stuck there, we miss the purpose of the existence of the mulk in our existence. Everything is there to guide us to fulfill that purpose, for the ruh to fulfill and grow and develop to what is supposed to be. So now there is, once the balance is there, death is not something dreadful anymore. We don't dread it because death is part of the process. Death is just as beautiful as life, and they come together. Yuhyi wa yumit. He gives death, he gives life and death, and it's through death that something new can come. So we understand that we are talking about the death of the world, but reality doesn't die, malakut doesn't die, and when we achieve that balance, when we reach some sort of balance, because it's not one balance, it depends on which level we are at, then we start appreciating things for the meaning they carry, for the reality they reflect, rather than for themselves. We talked about it last week. When we are unaware of malakut, then for our love for the beautiful names become a love for the world, for itself, for the worldly. Horizontal, getting stuck in the horizontal takes to darkness, because there is no future, no lastingness, no true purpose, no true meaning. And that is painful, and that leads to hopelessness, because we are created with the need of lasting, for meaning and purpose and joy, but they have to be lasting. But in the horizontal, in the worldly, there is no lastingness. So when we start becoming aware of the malakut, the same love, the same needs, the same appreciation becomes something that is nourishing to the ruh, and it becomes something that takes us to the true source, to our Rabb, to our sustainer, to God. And that appreciation in itself will increase our gratitude, will increase our appreciation of God. Itself becomes ibadah, becomes worship, because as we are appreciating the maker. So it is worship of God instead of worship of things, which has really disastrous consequences. So one leads to nowhere and the other one leads to here and now, tasting the fruits of worshiping God, of knowing God with his beautiful names, of connecting with the world through the malakut side, through the angels, worshiping God, glorifying him together with the angels. Actually, they teach us how to testify because they are testifying. We testify their testimony. That's how we know, through them, because we watch them and we start glorifying God together with them. And that's our worship. And so our life in this world becomes totally different. And so when we talk about the death and the death of the world, we are not now scared. If we don't have any awareness of the malakut, we don't want to talk about death, and we don't want to confirm the death of the world, because death of the world means one day it will be my death, and I don't see what's meaningful or beautiful or liberating or enlightening about it. I'm not aware of that. So I can only be scared. And it seems like, why do we even need to confirm the death of the world and for the resurrection? Yeah, because the death of the world is the death of the body of the human being, the body of everything else. But the ruh doesn't die, reality doesn't die. That's important. And that's directly related to our witnessing of the reality of resurrection. And if you look at the Quran talks a lot about the resurrection and about akhirah, the hereafter, and about having certainty in akhirah. It seems like, how can I have certainty in akhirah? I haven't been there. Like, it seems like I have to die and then go and check akhirah. No, but everything is dying here and now. I am dying here and now. It means I am going through many deaths and many resurrections here and now, and I'm given the opportunity again and again to confirm the reality of this. Why? Because the reality of the resurrection is related to my well-being here and now and for eternity. Isn't that very important? Everyone is working, doing something to feel good, to be happy, to be fulfilled. And Allah is saying, look, there is only one way to be fulfilled, here, now, forever. Come, I'll show you the way. And I say, no, I don't have time. You know, maybe from time to time I may come, but even then I'm not totally present with the teachings of the Quran, because I think I'm busy with something else. I have lots of things to do in order to gain fulfillment, this, that, everything that God is already promising us. So at least let's give ourselves an opportunity to try it. Try it for 6 months, try it for a year, make it our main goal. And everything else will fall anyway. We'll be doing something anyways. It's our attitude that matters. We need to make that decision, that choice, and renew the decision. The decision that this is the most important thing. People who decide, I want to live with this awareness. What shall I do in my daily life? So we can start with 2-3 points, 1 point even for a month. Just add the second one. Once it becomes a habit, you add the second one. A third one, I think it's extremely important. And Allah, our creator, our maker, is asking us again and again, pay attention, pay attention. You need it, you need it. Why is he telling us this? Out of love, out of mercy, out of compassion. And we are like very stubborn, naughty children